Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And today we begin the journey to clear EX2 of the new beatdown battle for Trishula, the Trishula. So this will be EX2, the last stage you need to play before you can get his last dupe and you could grind and buy the rest of his dupes out of the shop. This is important because everyone wants to have the new character at level 120. But this is an AoE focused stage that wants a water nuking character. And overall, it shouldn't be that difficult for a semi-solidly built team. They don't have millions of HP, they have 469k, which is going to seem quite high for brand new players, but I promise you, you will be able to do this very soon. They don't have very high stats at all. Isis does randomly change 2 orbs. She has a healing effect and poisons you, which is kind of annoying. She makes the entire team invincible on turn 5 to eliminate some of the more gimmicky teams, and then she can also heal people. But Kyokuro, lowers Pierce power, Synergy power, and Aegis power, which means that you're really focusing on building a crit forward team. If you hit any of these, it's going to reduce your damage by a lot. So you only want to build teams with crit damage or another kind of generic style of buff. And then Hyuga doesn't really do much for the team. She doesn't really have anything annoying except the bind for 2 turns. So the bind and the poison that Isis is doing can be kind of annoying. And then the debuffs with Kyokyo. Otherwise, they all have the same amount of HP, and it's roughly the same. The starting hand is built for a special convert to blues, or you could use the combo edition skill in order to not have to convert this, and you could just send 4 blues. So this is part 1. I'll have a number of teams to be able to do this, and I will have part 2 and probably a part 3, giving people as many options as possible based on where you are and what other teams you have that maybe your box can contain that can clear this fight to get that final dupe. But let's go ahead and get started. Alright, starting off, it's going to be the current meta units, so the new Veldora, the free-to-play Trishula, and Emils, so the summonable units. And then we've got some older characters here. Free-to-play Tempest Elite Gobta you can get from the Flashback Shop. Warrior's Mind Guy has been around since 2.5 years ago. You might have pulled him from your EX multi. And then Fount of Wisdom Rimuru you can currently get for free from the EX Awakening quest, so everyone should have access to this Fount of Wisdom Rimuru. But using this team, we are playing into the Combo Edition gimmick and the Dragon Orb mechanic with Veldora. That's the most important thing. So by having both Emils and Trishula, you really get full access to Veldora minus turn 6 maybe. But turn 1, you could either convert all orbs with Guy or Rimuru if he's skill fused, or you could use the Combo Edition skill from Emils, and then you only have to send 4 blue orbs, and it's going to act like you're sending all 6. And that's what you want to do with this team, is you want to send 6 blue orbs or the equivalent every single turn. Emils is also going to future convert 2 orbs on this coming turn 2, so that's going to cut down on our conversions here, so boom, right there. And then using Veldora, he's going to change 2 orbs to blue and 1 to a dragon orb. So now we just have to convert 1 time. We're going to use Trishula, also use the Combo Edition, so another 4 blue orbs that we're sending that are acting like 6, and this is the entire fight. So every single turn you use Veldora to make a dragon orb, you use the Combo Edition skill. Now that we have access to Veldora, our orb converting needs are kind of low. We really don't need to use Rimuru or Guy's convert, or even Gobta's convert at this point, because we're most likely going to have the future convert from Emils, and then that will also be taken care of with any other orbs from Veldora. So we're going to double stack with Veldora here. We're not going to get an extra Dragon Orb, but we are going to get extra skill points. And now, by using the Combo Edition again, we have 4 blues, going to act like 6. And that's going to give us a lot of skill points and a lot of protection gauge. So this team goes pretty quickly. Turn 3, going into turn 4 here, you are going to be poisoned and binded. So you can bring the Heartscape with Veldora to escape that here, or you could just kind of deal with it. And here we're going to deal with it. We're going to alt swap Emils' ult away, and then using Veldora we can convert those 2 orbs, and then get a 3rd dragon orb, and then use the combo edition, and now we can still send 2 orbs that are going to act like 6, because we've got both combo edition skills going now. And now it's turn 5. We're no longer to be binded. We're still going to be poisoned for another turn, I think. No, actually, it goes away. But this is the fight. It's very easy to run once you wrap your head around the gimmicks, because every gimmick new and interesting and kind of odd. But once you understand how it operates, the team is really easy to do. So another Veldora, another Dragon Orb. We've used both the combo edition skills, so we're sending 6 blues essentially. And now we're on to turn 6, which is the hardest fight. And we've also killed Kyokyo already. So by focusing him down, we are doing continually more damage because of the stacks of Veldora, giving us 25% attack. And now, on turn 6, we have to do everything here. So we have to alt swap, we have to do the combo exchange. We also want to transform with Emils, so he can start stacking up his alt damage, because we need to do that for 3 turns. So, we could do that, but I kind of forget. Not a big deal. We don't need to have him transformed to kill here. But more importantly, we were only able to send 5 blues that turn. So you want to make sure that on turn 6, you have access to a Veldora, because you want that final Dragon Orb. Or on turn 7, you want that final Dragon Orb. That way you can send all 6 and get the triple damage buff. And this is why it's not super important to have Emils fully stacked up, because the triple damage is wild and will ensure that you kill. So all 6 Dragon Souls acquired, maximum alt gauge, maximum skill points, and we get the triple damage increase while being invincible. So now, on turn 8, we're ready to go. We've got all the points we need, everyone is fine, so let's use the second stack of Emils. We'll use the physical buff with Fountain Wisdom Rimuru, and that's literally all we need to do. We don't even need to use Guy for his crit and alt buff. That's the kind of raw power that we're getting from a triple damage increase, plus a butt ton of alt damage. So that's using the full quote-unquote meta team, while also leaving some friendlier options. You could go much harder on this team. You could use a bunch of better support characters, and you will do a lot more than that damage. But this is a basic team build, and most of the 3 of the characters are free, essentially. Alright, next up is the I only pulled Veldora off of the new banner. So you missed out on Emils, you're still summoning, or you really don't care about Emils. Either way, you have the new Protector, but you don't have anyone else. So, we're going to use the free-to-play Warrior's Mind Shion that you can get from the Flashback Shop. She stacks crit damage on physical allies, which is good. And if she's skill-fused, she stacks even more, like 15% versus 5. We've got the new Trishula, still with the combo edition, but not as efficient because we're lacking that second character. We have Guy, who can convert orbs on turn 1 and give us alt damage and guaranteed crits, which means that we can use Violet to get crit damage and alt resistance down, and she converts orbs as well. And then we're going to nuke with our free-to-play Fount of Wisdom Rimuru, being physical and AoE. So he's going to work very well here. So turn 1, we don't have enough points to use Gabiru's combo edition, Trishula, so we're just going to convert with Guy. And if you have Rimuru skill fused, you could convert with him too, but if you don't, he just does 2 oranges. But let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Boom. And this team runs probably even faster than the other team, because once we start getting Dragon Orbs, we can still do it with this team. It's just not as efficient once you get past turn like 4 or something, because you're only sending 5, 4, 3 orbs, leading up to turn 7 when you have all 6 Dragon Souls. So, it's not the best. But we're going to use the combo edition here, which will change the 1 Gabiru orb, and then using Veldora, we'll convert the Dragon Orb and the other 2, and we'll get a double stack just for some skill points. And then honestly, we don't need to really worry about anything, because we're going to guarantee our EX alts on turn 7. We're going to cap out on points. So the only thing we need to do here is ensure that we can get a Veldora stack every single turn. And that might mean not optimizing him. Like, if you get a double stack with him in the next couple turns, maybe it's better to just do 1 time, because you're only going to get 1 Dragon Orb per turn, and you want to make sure that turn 6 and turn 5, you still have access to Veldora, because you need to send Dragon Orbs every turn. So every single turn, you want to have Veldora activated. So this is turn 3, we've got 2. We still have the combo edition from Trishula, so we're still at maximum efficiency right here. But once we get to turn 4, and we only have 3 blue orbs to send, because we're half and half, now the combo edition from Trishula is only making us have 5 blues. And this is where it comes into play that you should probably hold on to a Veldora every turn. The bind really doesn't matter here. We can send alts if we want to, or you can alt swap. Again, we're guaranteed to get their EX alts on turn 8 with all 6 souls, so it's not a big deal if you just want to send his alt now and spare some points. But this team isn't that expensive, quite honestly. So we're going to hold on to Veldora. We're just going to send those 3 orbs. That's going to act like 5 blues. But that means on turn 5, we have Veldora. And then on turn 6, we will also have Veldora. And hopefully by then, by sending blues, we're going to get enough to get him access on turn 7 as well. So boom, okay, taking some poison damage, not a big deal. We didn't really have to convert with Violet at all. We barely had to convert with Rimuru, if any. So another convert with Veldora, and now we're down to 2 orbs. So now we're sending 4 blues, but that still gets us Veldora next turn, and it will be able to get us Veldora on turn 7 as well. So, boom. Okay, remove any stupid stuff on turn 5 that would harm them. But now it's turn 6. We have 1 more turn of sending some kind of blue. So we'll do the alt swap, we'll do the convert, combo edition, and we'll do another stack of the crit damage with Xion. That's why it's important to probably have Xion up front for the binding turns, because you can still get that stack of crit damage on Rimuru. That's the most important thing. But here, only sending 3 blues essentially, but it still gives us Veldora for turn 7, which means we can get all 6 Dragon Souls. And the skill points doesn't matter here. We can do 1 more stack of Xion, cool, and then Veldora will convert that Gabiru ult to 6 dragons, and then we get our EX ult and skill points and triple damage and everything. And the triple damage combined with the stacking crit damage we've had with Xion, plus the guaranteed crits and ult damage with Guy, and then the extra crit damage and ult resistance down from Violet, means that even if Rimuru doesn't straight up kill, we have, at most, 3 AoE ults in Violet, Trishula, and Rimuru. So, like, we should be able to kill with this team. And even if your team has lower gear and not as many dupes, the 3 EX ults that are AoE should be able to do it just fine with the amount of power that we have available. So, we're going to do the Rimuru buff, the Guy buff. We already used the Violet buff. We're going to orb change just for funsies because we have the points left over in the event that maybe you do need the follow-up orbs, but we don't because Rimuru is going to kill right here. And he does 1.4 million damage. So, yeah, we can still do it even with just Veldora and a lot of substitutable options. Rimuru, again, is free to play from the EX Awakening quest. Everyone has access to this character as long as you have like 450 population. And then you could swap out characters as you see fit. Okay, next up is the opposite, that I don't have Veldora, but I pulled Emils. Okay, great, you have a really strong AoE water nuking character. You need a protector to run. So today we've chosen Renard. You could choose Ogre's Pride Benimaru or Fount of Wisdom Diablo or somebody else who's going to give Emils some stacking something. But Renard is probably the next best option because no one can get Spirit Master Hero right now. But if you have her, she'll probably work even better. But Renard is stacking weakness resistance down or weakness strike up and ult resistance down. So he's doing 2 different things, which means that Emils, with his 500-something% damage, is going to do a lot. And so we've brought free-to-play Trishula, because now we have the combo edition, but we don't really need it because we're not playing into the gimmick. So we've got the OG Space Master Hero. She's crit focused, and she's just an old 5-star. You could use one of the newer heroes if you want, but their damage buffs are going to be pretty nerfed in this fight. At most, you're going to get like 20% synergy power or 20% pierce, so it's not super duper worth it. But we also have Shinsha from New Year's Blessing, who is part of the Dragon Haki meta. She has ult damage and crit damage for physical allies, which works. But we don't have anyone who's giving crit rate, so that's the only thing. So like we're not fully... Well, actually, no, we have the hero. What am I talking about? We have crit rate from the hero, crit resistance down from the hero, crit damage from Shinsha, ult damage from Shinsha, more ult damage from Emils, physical attack from Fount of Wisdom Rimuru, we have a lot of power, plus the stacking effects of Renard. So the only thing this team needs is traditional blue orb changers, which thankfully Emils, with his converting every 2 orbs every turn, means that you really don't need that much converting to be done here. We have Trishula who could convert him or Emils or Shinsha's orbs. We have Fount of Wisdom Rimuru who can convert orbs, and we have Emils who's going to change 2 of them anyways. So like right here, he's going to convert 2 of them if we used it. No, we didn't use it. Okay, there we go. So here, like, what could we do here? We can bring Gabiru in, quite honestly, and it would be okay. Or we could just send some orbs here. Either way, we can just kind of get rid of this hand. But let's full combo buff, and then we could bring Trishula in, and we could do his combo buff, and that means we only have to send the 2 blue orbs. Right? Because 2 blues are going to act like 6. So we're looking good. Because next turn we can convert with Rimuru. We're going to get 2 orbs converted in the future from Emils. And this sets a precedent for, like, yeah, he's maybe not the greatest away from Veldora because you don't need to use the gimmick. But the gimmick can still come in handy like it did here. So now we have 2 alts with water characters. And we're locked in. We could unlock ourselves with the Heartscape, but there's no real need to do that. We're not really using any stacking buffs, so let's just alt swap the 2 water alts into blues, and then we can convert and do full combo buff, right? Because he's going to convert that orange to blue, and then we can stack with Renard. We only need to send 4 blue orbs here, probably. 1, 2... No, only 2, because we used Emils as well. So yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to do with this team, quite honestly. As long as you're sending 6 blues one way or another, either by normal converting or orb changing, you're going to be fine. And Trishula's going to convert 3 of these characters' alts, if they're up, well, 2 if they're up front, because he converts 2 waters, and we have 3 water characters. So you could freely swap out one of them and leave Emils up front the entire time to continue to get stacks. And yeah, we're looking good. This is what we want to see. Let's transform with the Emils, and we can start getting his alt damage stacks 100% every turn, which means that by the end of this fight, we're going to have 500% alt damage, which is wild, plus another 80% from Shinsha. So he already has his EX alt. We don't have the dragon orbs to guarantee everyone gets an EX alt, but remember that when Emils is transformed, his orbs are rainbow. So even if you didn't have an EX alt for Emils already, you would get it really quickly when he's transformed. So we're ending turn 5 here, going into turn 6. We're still looking good. We still have minimal conversions to do. So let's convert again with let's alt swap again, and then convert. Boom, and boom. And we don't need to do anything here. I guess we could use the future hand here and the combo. But we have rainbow orbs now, because we've alt swapped. So we could just send the 2 Emils for funsies. Or we could send Gabiru's, and we can get his ult. That works too. Either way. But turn 7's coming up. We're looking good. We have, as many points as we really honestly need. And we could probably nuke on this turn. We don't need to go to turn 8. Because we only have 1 more turn of transformation. We're locked in. So honestly, like, Emils he's gonna kill. So let's unlock ourselves, and then let's just use all the different buffs here. So I'm kind of thinking about what I want to do. I want to swap, but right, we're locked. So, okay, let's use the physical buff, and then let's use the Heartscape to unlock ourselves, unbind ourselves. And if you don't have the Heartscape, then you could just wait. Emils honestly does not need to be transformed to kill this stage. He would probably kill by himself, quite honestly. But I just want to bring in some extra power just to show you that we can go with lower tier characters and still be okay, as long as you have Emils and Trishula and some kind of stacking blue protector. He's going to do a lot of damage by himself. So we're going to nuke, plus follow-up orbs, and he does 3 point something million damage, 9 million on the other side, because we didn't hit one of the stupid buffs. But yeah, that's the only Emils team, again, with characters that you could probably get right now. Renard and Shinsha you might be able to get from the EX multi. The hero you could get from your login tickets or something. and then Trishula is free, Fount of Wisdom Rimuru is free. And the final team I have for you, at least for this video, is going to be the most recent team to come out, Scourge Wielder. And we are going to go with just the bare bones version of it. So, no hero, no Lumi. If you have them, great, replace the other characters on this team. But we've got Elmisia, Kigali, and Masayuki. And honestly, if you don't have Masayuki, you can just use the hero or something, or one of the other characters. Like, this team does too much damage. It's meant to do a lot of damage quickly, and it can do a lot. So we've got Tempest Leap Benimaru. His physical buff, unnecessary, because Elmisia is already doing like triple the amount. But he does have the convert for turn 1, which is why we brought him. And if you want to bring some free-to-play Soka or Frey or someone to convert turn 1, certainly you can do that too. We've got free-to-play Hero, because he's free-to-play. We've got free-to-play Kigali, again, free-to-play character. Masayuki, or whatever character you're using to nuke that's physical. And then we've got the Space Fast Hero for the guaranteed crit and crit resistance down. This team does not take very long to get the job done. 1, because of the Chaos mechanic. And 2, because the light and dark buff and the 150% physical buff is already a lot. And he's got the AoEs on oranges, which means that we're going to do damage to everybody. So this is just, it's free and easy, essentially. And you could go higher tier or lower tier with support options. Again, we don't use Benimaru's buff at all. We do use the heroes. Probably don't need to, because we can just go an extra turn or something. But turn 1, we've used the convert for Benimaru or whoever you've brought, and you got 6 blues. That gives us access to Elmisia on turn 2, which is great. And then we can start buffing up with the Chaos and the light buff and the AoE. So here, okay, decent spread, whatever. You could rewind if you wanted to. Like, that is a strategy. If you want to do this in 2 turns, maybe you could, I don't know. But let's go ahead and Chaos Gimmick, and then do the light-dark buff. And then Elmisia is going to give us the 150% physical buff, and that means that everyone on the front line is doing AoEs that are, well, some of them are buffed up. The Space Hero isn't buffed up because she's space. But, yeah, doing 16k a hit, 22k a hit on their guard, and then the Chaos damage will kick in a little bit. It won't do that much because they're guarding. But, yeah, 11,000. But now we have 2 AoE ults, and we have the physical buff still, and we have crits. So you know what? Let's just go ahead and nuke now. We could put another stack of the Chaos on, so now we're going to do 25% of the total damage output here. So, I mean, we don't need to bring Benimaru in. Again, his buff is covered by Elmisia. His alt resistance down debuff that's part of it is only a single target one, so it's only going to affect 1 person, but it's unnecessary. So, let's just go ahead and full Elmisia send. We still have the AoEs on the oranges, so even if the 2 nukes don't kill, we have a lot of follow-ups that are going to hit everyone. And the hero does 105k, Masayuki does 300k. Normal ults, too, not EX ults. 3 turns. And we had the rewind just in case for funsies onesies, because we wanted to be daring. So, Scourge Wielder, at low budget, can definitely get the job done. And if you don't have Masayuki, use the new Masked Hero, or you could just use the Space Masked Hero, or the freaking free-to-play Water Rimuru. Like, that's totally fine. If you don't have Elmisia, well, you're kind of in a bind, but if you have Warrior's Mind Shuna, or you have Exalted Champion Velzard or something, you could run a green version of the team. There are a lot of options for this team build. But there we have 4 teams to beat EX2. If these don't work out for you, I'm going to have 2 more videos coming out with other team builds that can get this job done. The stage isn't really that difficult, so stay tuned for those over the next coming days. And if you have used something else that I haven't shown, and you want to put it down in the comments and give other people some ideas, please feel free to do so. But that's it from me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.